The Prime Brian. Did you hear that Sony was apparently overworking the artists that were working on Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, where some artists even quit? Yeah, that was sad. I did read about that. Um, Hold on. Let me find the big write-up on it. Was it from here? I can't remember. But yeah, that's very sad to hear. It is impressive how common this is. Even for something like Across the Spider-Verse, which everyone championed for, good, like, real artist relations and everything. But apparently that just wasn't the case. There's a Prime Elias and the resub Neon and Neon Realm. Oh, VFX artists get fucked over all the time. The studio that remade Sonic and literally saved the Sonic live action film got shut down because they basically couldn't afford to stay in business anymore. They had a rush order to redesign Sonic. They redesigned Sonic and then had to fold shortly thereafter because they weren't paid enough to keep going even after that work. That's not true. Is that not the reason? That was the timeline, right? Right after they did the Sonic redesign, they had to shut down. Yeah, the Vancouver VFX studio behind the Sonic redesign had to close its doors for good after taking on the project. Unless this was debunked somehow. I remember this when it came out, but maybe that's not the full story? One guide? Well, that's the one guy I trust. He's literally in the industry. That's Andrew. No, they only had to close the Vancouver office because the tax rebates changed. They kept the other offices. That's why? Then why do they always cite about like the extreme hours and the underpaid salary for the workers and all the extra work they do? Or did, sorry. Easy resub Trenton Digital. Jesus, 17-hour shifts. Because that's VFX. I don't think it had anything to do with the office closing. Okay, maybe it's two separate things rolled into one and people assumed that that was the reason it had to close. Fair enough then. Point still stands. VFX artists are overworked and underpaid for the work they do. Thanks to resub Weeaboo. Thanks to the resub Joke. You heard about Nick Fury's show using AI in their intro? Yeah. That intro is super goofy too. I saw it on Twitter. I haven't watched the show though. I mean, the fact that a studio's life is entirely based on tax rebates is in itself a major VFX problem. Fair point. That is a good point. It's sad knowing there are animators who are really happy showing off their pieces of work. I can't imagine like everyone who worked on this film was subject to the 11 hours, 5 days a week that some of them were reporting, or 11 plus hours, 7 days a week. So I understand why so many of them would be like, look at this. This was incredible work. Loved working here and all that. But maybe others didn't have such a great experience. which is really sad. What's even sadder is because the movie is so good, there's a lot of people on Twitter that were like, this is the cost of making art. This is the cost of making masterpieces. If you're not willing to do 11, 12, 13-hour work days, 7 days a week, then you're in the wrong industry. You're not here for real art. It's like, brother, what are you talking about, man? Thanks the resub G David. Yeah, I swear every reply was like that. I know. It's a fucking unhinged take. It really is. Japan is worse. Well, yeah, Japan is worse, 100%. But that doesn't mean that this is okay. Just because it's comparatively less awful than Japan's working conditions for animators. But yeah, Japan's work culture in general, but specifically in animation, is abominable. I've always said if I ever fell into like $1 billion, if I won the Powerball or something, one of the first things I'd do is I'd buy like a ton of the top tier Japanese animator talent and start a studio and just immediately pay them exactly what they're worth, a great wage, real benefits. That way they're not literally killing themselves making the projects. That would be one of the first ventures I'd take on. Thanks to Bitskov and Anthony. And the Bitskov. Not possible the Japanese government will stop you? What the fuck, man? No. That's not how that would work. A lot of the animators these studios use are like contractors. A lot of it's freelance as well. Like One Punch Man season one. The reason why it was so special in a lot of ways and why it worked really well actually is because the creative director got like a ton of different talent from all over the place in order to put them together and only work on that season and create something crazy. And then season two, they completely did away with everything there. But they bring all of them together to make that kind of stuff. A lot of the times it's not all done by like the same staples in house or anything. So I don't know what the Japanese government would do there to stop me if I had $1 billion of being like, hey, come work for this studio I'm opening. Here's like a real salary and real work hours that aren't going to put you in an early grave. Like what are they gonna do? Why would the Japanese government step in? Easy resub yum. And the prime Kai. They make it difficult for outsiders to start a business. I think okay, I we're talking pipe dreams. These are pipe dreams. I'd need billions to even consider. I'm just saying, to offer that, I feel like most of them would probably want to, and as opposed to actually working themselves to death forever on an endless grind. There's a whole great documentary about it. I can't remember what it's called. But there's a really good documentary that highlights not only the work culture of like Japan in general, but in specific the like manga creators. It's not just animators. It's just like the entire work culture there is crazy. It is actually work, 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 and die during the grind. Thanks, resub Marty and Magikarp. Their wages are peanuts. We looked it up on stream like shit, what, a year ago? What? I'll look it up again. I'm just gonna go out on a limb here and see if I remember the exact number though, so I look like a prophet if I get it right. I believe the starting position for an animator at a major studio was $700 a month USD. I'm gonna double check now. Okay. What is this in USD? $800. I was super close. Where was it? Oh, here. Average salary of animators in their 20s. I see it, so it's breaking it down by that. 800. Yeah, like I said, this is like the a young animator new there, right? But even still, that's criminal. It's not uncommon for the monthly salary for a first-year animator to be $270. Jesus. Yeah, we talked about that just a minute ago, Kai. Thanks for your sub, Carver, Falcon, and Michael. How is that acceptable? It's fucking not. And if I remember correctly, there are efforts to try and like change and improve the working conditions. So I think they're recognizing that it's a problem as well. Thanks, resub Soul. And the resub Foggy. And the resub Fabby. Yeah, the industry is it's rough. I don't remember this. This means that animators' incomes are determined by the number of frames they draw. For a newcomer, it takes time and practice to become skillful enough to draw quicker and make a fair amount of earnings per month. For a typical TV anime series, an animator makes less than $2 per frame. Therefore, if an animator draws 300 frames per month, their monthly salary is only $550. But drawing 300 frames per month is a really challenging task for new animators. With such a busy schedule, animators generally do not have enough time to take other part-time jobs, which makes it even harder to make a stable living. That's crazy. Holy shit, getting paid per frame? I don't remember that. That's like paying writers by word? No, because being paid per word, like, you can make words much faster than you can make entire fucking anime frames. You can make significantly more words than you can frames. And especially at a top tier animation company, those frames are going to need to be good. You can't just turn in dog shit. There was an animator on Trash Taste that said the same thing. I heard hentai artists get paid a lot. Yeah. There's a very famous example of someone who made a really popular manga, got turned into an anime, and then he quit because he made significantly more money doing hentai. We just talked about him. Denkin, who was that? I think it was you that brought him up. Thanks, Resub Noah. It was the Helsing creator. Was it the Helsing creator? Oh yeah, yeah. Kota Harano. Oh, Drifters. That's why. Drifters. We were talking about Drifters, which is how he came up. Because I really like Drifters. It was a really good anime. And it'll never get a season 2 because now the creator is just making hentai because it's significantly more profitable and a lot easier. No, I don't know about that, Kav. So that's what happened to Drifters? Yep. Pretty much. How is he not making good money out of Helsing? They're also, like, even when the shit pops off, they're not paid that well. Most famously, Demon Slayer creator. I'm gonna pull this up, and I'm going off memory. I was very close off memory on this one with the amount of money they get paid per month, so I'm gonna try and two for two. I believe the creator of Demon Slayer got paid, I think it was 50 grand for the Demon Slayer movie, which raked in like fucking $500 million or something crazy. Oh, okay. Uh, yeah. The creator got paid $19,201 for the Demon Slayer Mugen Train, and it made over $500 million, and he made an estimated 19K. So even when their properties do extremely well, it's not like they see a huge return on it. At least not normally. As just upfront fee. That's what I thought too, but then the one down here I clicked on and it says that even out of the box office performance, it's still only an estimated 17K, which is even less than the upfront source here states. So I don't know, but they all kind of say the same thing there. Exhibits Kav and Kai in the Prime Nexus. Who gets the money? That's like almost like a beautifully cute question. Who gets the money? But the guys who make it, the you know, the hardworking people behind the property, if they don't get it, who gets it? You know who it goes to. You know who it goes to. There's the Risa blog. And Bob. The ufotable CEO so he can evade taxes. True. There's the Prime Ice. And the resub fingers. What about Oda? Oda's looked at as a god. Oda is such an exception in that industry. Oda is on a whole different plane. Thanks to give some ice. Have you heard of the Monster of Florence mystery? That sounds super familiar. Akira Toriyama got to be a billionaire from Dragon Ball and Dragon Quest. No. He's I'm gonna actually look it up. I bet he's made significantly less than pretty much any major manga creator. Despite the unbelievable success of his properties. Unless he managed to retain like royalties on merchandise and shit, which I don't think is the norm by any means. This is a stupid Google because I never really believed these things, but I just want to get like a gauge on how much he still retains on his own for his IP. I hate Googling net worth because these numbers are never even close to real. But 45 million is what most of these are saying. Though I still doubt it's even close to that. Especially because he made manga early, which was even more exploitative back then, I imagine. He's the Prime certified. And the resub JPG. Apparently, Araki's net worth is around 13 mil from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and other works. I mean, yeah, that again, even that actually sounds high. Again, these are like OG manga creators here, and that industry has been exploitative from day one. And I really think it was probably worse back then too. There's a resub strip. So even that 13 million estimate is obviously low considering how big his properties are, but I doubt it's even to 13 million for his net worth. Thanks the Prime Zin. Thanks the resub. Marlsmo. Distortion ran only up for 12 hours today. That guy's a grinder, man. Distortion is fucking nuts. I heard he had a second place run today. You got a 2119. That's so fucking strong. That is ridiculous. What episode are you on of One Piece? 257. Like I said earlier today, for the first time since I started this long fucking journey catching up on One Piece, for the first time, I'm actually enjoying it. Water 7's a good arc. He's a tier 1 warrior. Hydrokinesis. Oh, I know that channel very well. I love the hydrokinesis, aerokinesis, telekinesis community. I love that shit. He's a resub agent. Oh, are you watching too, Dankin? I didn't know that. Yeah, Skypiea fucking sucked. Holy shit, Skypiea was awful. The big bad of Skypiea is great. Like the last maybe 10 episodes are good. But everything else is, oh my lord. You're reading it, coward. Fucking coward. Thanks, Arisa Bug. Hey, Otashi. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for the gift subs in. And the resub Eggy. And the Prime Rad. What's your opinion on Hell's Paradise anime? I like it. I think it's fun. I don't think it's like nearly to the same level that like Jujutsu Kaisen or Demon Slayer was able to pop off with for shonen, but it's still a very enjoyable show. Thanks to Prime. Hear you. And the Prime textural. And the Bits Bob. I haven't watched Mashal, but I've heard a lot about it. Thanks to Resub Enchilada. What did you think of Vinland Saga's season 2 ending? I thought the entire season was an absolute masterclass in character development. Maybe instead of making a moist meter, I'll just make a whole video about Vinland Saga. I think what that show did for season 2 was so fucking brave, and they did not get rewarded for it because no one outside of like hardcore Vinland Saga fans are talking about it. Which is a shame because Vinland Saga season 1 everyone talked about. But then I guess everyone dropped it for season 2 since it's so different. Thanks for 5 gift subs, Premiere, the bits euphoric. I will be going for sub 30 only up, just not tonight. You watched Trigun? No, I didn't finish Trigun. The masses just don't like character growth. No, I wouldn't say that. I think it's just like casual anime fans more look for things like a Demon Slayer or like a Jujutsu Kaisen. But then there's exceptions like Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan, there's many episodes dedicated simply to character growth. Thanks, Resub Trev. And the tier 1 Ryan. I like the first 2 seasons of Bleach. Bleach then really falls off hard for me. I rewatched it recently. I really only like everything up to saving Rukia. After that, I think it really falls off. But Thousand Year Blood War, the most recent season after they brought it back, well, half a season, was good. Easy to give subs, Ryan. Need an anime of Plague Seeker. You got me hooked with the beginning. Glad to hear that. And good news because our that's not an anime, but our animated short for Plague Seeker should be within the next 2 weeks. Hopefully within the next week, but not entirely sure when. Glad you liked the first issue though. Thanks, a resub spool. When's another bad game night? When I finish Final Fantasy 16 and I'm done speedrunning only up. Thanks, Resub Acid. Fix your stream for Final Fantasy 16. It's the most hype video game ever made. Glad to hear you're enjoying it so much. I do need to figure out how to fix it, but I'm not waiting in the meantime, so I've just been playing off stream today. I mean, I'll just